Hi, everybody.
Hey, everybody. Welcome to TFT, Tarot for Today, Divine Dabblings with
Oberon.
and me, Banshee. And it's time for our monthly modality message because it's my birthday. Woohoo! Woohoo!
It is your birthday, but that's not why it's the monthly modality message.
And I'm wearing my lucky hat on my birthday. Thank you, Fiber Magic.
If you're watching this right
Thank
now,
you, Fiber Magic.
Thank you, Fiber Magic. If you're watching this right now on Saturday, April 19th, as the sun moves into Taurus, it is indeed Banshee's birthday today.
Because I just eke it out as an Aries.
But we're on the other side of the state right now, reading cards at the Arts and Craft Spring Psychic Wellness Festival.
That's right. So, if you feel like you're time slipping here.
Time slipping. Now, where have I heard that?
From one of our tribe members.
All
Tarot
right.
tribe.
So
All
anyways, this is the monthly modality message. We look at the astrology signs through their modality lens. There's basically three. And we determine how your modality energies or placements can help you move through the month ahead. Because we are now in the season of
Taurus. Happy birthday to all
Happy birthday,
our Taurus friends. It's really a great time of year.
You know
As a matter of fact, I know we're going to have a birthday reading coming up on our show.
very soon.
Kara.
Hey, Kara.
I'm
Anyway,
talking to you.
Name dropping.
All right.
So we start off with the first modality, which is the Cardinal modality. So
My
let's
modality.
talk about cardinals. Cardinal modalities include Aries, Cancer, Libra, and Capricorn. They're positives. They are initiators. They get things started. They are active and quick. They have drive, ambitious, vim and vigor. They are enthusiastic, a zest for life, clever. They want to win.
I saw you skipped no slackers. We are not slackers. But I guess I'm here to talk about some of the supposed, rumored negatives of the cardinal signs. And that is, we're too domineering at times, maybe a little bit self-centered. We might forget about others as we focus on our birthdays, on our own stuff. And we often don't finish what we start.
Well, I don't feel that way about Cancer and Libra, but I do feel that way about Capricorn and Aries.
Well, fine. Be that way.
So,
Be
I
that
don't
way,
know.
you
Whoever-
fixed sign, you.
Whoever came up with this maybe was writing more about themselves. Anyways, here we go into the reading.
Okay.
Question 1, or card 1. What is the primary focus for the Cardinals in this month ahead?
Hey, it's the Six of Pentacles.
It's the Six of Pentacles upright.
Upright.
So the focus for Cardinals may be the spirit of giving, and of course the idea that when we give, more likely than not, we are involved in a reciprocal chain. People honor the idea of us giving to them, whether it's, just simple money or whether it's other sorts of things. I know I saw him in here.
What is he doing again?
There's something over there that he likes to eat. It's paper that was hanging down from the side.
Okay, well, he was doing it again.
Do you want to stop the tape and go get him out of here?
I think.
Okay, just go ahead and do it.
You get. What are you doing here? There's some bag or something, I guess.
Yeah, he finds something to eat over there. Just get him out of here and
Cap.
shut the door.
Cap. Okay.
All right. So as I was saying, it's really the idea that this next month ahead, there's going to be a lot of exchange of mutual gifts and honorings of various sorts.
I think for the cardinal signs that fairness, equal exchange, trying to find balance maybe in your financial affairs, what you're putting out, what you're getting in. This may be very, very important to you this season, with a lot of the stuff going on in the world markets and prices changing and things like that. You want to keep your finances balanced and in order. So I think that might be what's going on here.
All right. Card 2, then, is the role that your interactions, Cardinals, with others will play in this month ahead.
It's another Pentacles. It's the 4 of Pentacles reversed.
Well, that's kind of interesting.
Yeah, it kind of is, because it seems as though maybe you have some excess things that maybe it's time to donate or let go of at any rate. Maybe it's time to, your interactions with others might be to generously give some of the stuff that you no longer need. I wonder about that. But I also wonder here, do you have another thought?
No, I was thinking that it's like there's an opportunity in this overall climate of the first card to basically liberate, some of the things you don't want anymore, or the things you feel can be of better service somewhere else.
I agree. Maybe, for example, some people...
Because the first card is about that spirit.
Yeah. I'm wondering here, like maybe, for example, some people might want to sell their cars right now, getting a new car before tariff prices change everything. And so maybe it's something like that. Big ticket items that you are selling, you are letting go of. One way or another, whether you're getting money for it, compensated for it, you are letting go of something, and it's involving others.
Card 3 is the opportunities or challenges you face in the month ahead, Cardinals, and how best can you achieve or tackle them.
You believe this? It's a 3rd Pentacle.
Okay,
and it's the Ace of Pentacles reversed.
But that makes sense because this is Taurus, and Taurus is kind of a financial emphasis kind of sign. So the Ace... Reverse.
Well, the opportunities or challenges. The challenges obviously are, trying to keep your head above water in this environment. I mean, maybe some of the cardinal signs might be in between jobs, looking for jobs, struggling, getting something new underway. And, this you're realizing now, I think the challenge is, how do you make ends meet, keep things stable during periods of non-growth?
Well, for the Cardinals, it does seem like there's a bit of financial emphasis. And when I see that card there, opportunities or challenges, it does feel like maybe, you're going to have a problem or have some upsets, interaction delays that are... not suitable. So if you are trying to, maybe this is about you selling things on eBay or somewhere, and it's just not that good market. But even in general, it could just represent that the market right now, everybody may be trying to cash in due to the financial situations, and there's only so much that can be done with that.
So, how can you use your modalities superpower this month, cardinal signs, to your best advantage? Wow.
Not a pentacle.
No, it's not a pentacle, but it's a major with all these pentacles, which means to me, this is important stuff that you need to do this cycle.
Hierophant.
And the Hierophant is upright. And so... I kind of think here, you basically, the best way you do your modality superpowers, is to be quick, is to be all in on this, be driven to make these changes. The Hierophant here and you have to work with the status quo, what you see the status quo as being right now. That's how I think this card fits here. And your modality superpower is obviously, with all the many changes going on very fast, you may have to think and act fast in order to stay above the changes.
It seems like it's a call to discern order, because maybe the climate will only support things happening in a more routine manner, that anything hyper progressive or hyper, out of the box thinking is just not going to be favored, I think, too. And so if that pertains to, these money making opportunities, the emphasis for money making or material matters is pretty evident in your reading here, Cardinals.
Well, it's material matters, but it doesn't look good for growth.
No.
It looks like, if anything, you might be able to break even or keep even, purging some stuff that no longer matter to you, maybe getting, deals while you can on a better car, etc. There's no growth. There's no new growth here. There may be something to be gained by eliminating things. And with the Six of Pentacles here, I think you're going to be able to maintain balance, if you do the right work here. Just don't try to get anything else started. I think that's just not going to happen during this period. Nothing new. You need to stick with the status quo. You need to kind of, see what's happening and we'll go with it in order to succeed.
So that was a pretty good sum up.
It was.
Alrighty.
You good with that?
I'm good with that.
All right.
So we will move on now to our next modality, and that's the
Which is the fixed signs. Here, shuffle, Mr. O.
Yes, it is.
I like to do the negatives, but I'll do the positives this time for them. Well, the fixed signs are Taurus, Leo, Scorpio, and Aquarius. Positives are that they are steady, they are stable, they are determined, they're resolute, they're self-reliant, they forge ahead, they calmly work on objectives, remembers those who've helped them. There's persistence, there's concentration, there's powerful yet purposeful movement, no wasted motions.
Well, I just want to say that we also remember those who did not help us.
Wow. And I was going to make a comment there. He must have known.
Well, maybe that's just the Scorpio part of this modality. Okay. But anyways, in general, negatives are stubborn. We're all stubborn. My way or the highway thinking. We have a tendency to get stuck in our ways and believing that we're always right. Well, Taurus, Leo, and Aquarius are rarely right, but Scorpio is always right. Oh, I just threw my other modality partners under the bus.
Wow.
Okay,
so,
obviously I'm kidding.
Like him.
I'm obviously kidding. So,
now I'll make you reach all the way over there and get those cards.
no problem.
You cannot smack the birthday girl. Not
okay.
allowed.
Not on her face, but we can give her a spanking. Bend over.
All right.
The primary focus for the fixed modality. And
by the way, did we not say this? We may not have. It's for the entire Taurus season, these readings.
These cards.
All right.
It actually represents the progress of working through that.
Well, good news for you, wimpy fixed signs. You got the Three of Swords reversed.
Three of Swords reversed.
Which is nice. Which is very nice.
You broke my heart, so I...
break yours. So the healing has begun. This is a time period for healing from some emotional wounds, some things that may have hurt you on an emotional level. You've been processing, you've been getting your revenge if you're a Scorpio, and you've made it through. You're on the road to recovery. You're really pretty much recovered and ready to face a new day.
Well, it's easy to say that maybe this could pertain to actual physical health, that maybe some of us in this modality are dealing with some actual physical concerns, but it probably is the overall idea that there's multiple healing going on. There may be healing going on from, strifeful situations or relationships. There could be healing going on from actual physical situations that have occurred to this modality. But the good news is that it is really moving to a better. So, card 2 then is the role that your interactions with others will play in this month ahead.
Well, it's a Six of Cups reversed.
Oh.
That's really interesting to me. So, you're recovering from some hurt. And, then we get in your interactions with others, the Six of Cups reversed. And it makes me think that, it's a good thing you're on your road to recovery, because I have a feeling that either some of these memories, or maybe the person or people or situation that may have harmed you, something is they're either going to be reappearing, or the memories are going to be haunting you a little bit.
It sounds pretty scorpionic, certainly, as far as that goes. But I'm reminded of a poem that ended, "The past is almost over." And it is the idea maybe that there is something that still is lingering, and that your interactions with others will still sort of carry a little bit of this gravity or a little bit of this baggage in various interactions. Maybe more so with people you sort of feel, weren't supportive of you, or maybe actually adversarial to you, no matter how the relationship may be currently.
And for those who maybe have suffered a loss, a death, a parting, something like that, sometimes funerals don't always bring out the best in people. And, this could be family members or things that, were bottled up that suddenly come to the surface. So, just be prepared to face some of that. Hopefully you are strong enough now to do that. I mean, maybe the funeral's past, but of course that does not mean that people might still try to dredge some things up because of that. So I'm just saying, I want to add
No, that's very good. So card 3 is the opportunities or challenges that the fixed may face in this month ahead, and how best to achieve or tackle.
Well, this usually isn't a very bad card, but we don't have the greatest. We have some somber cards in this reading. I would say this: it's the Sun reversed. And let me just start out by saying, I think here, the opportunity or challenge is kind of equal here. It's about finding the light again, finding the light and the happiness and the joy in your life. And I think there's an opportunity for you, since you are on the road to healing fixed signs, that you will be able to do that again. You will be able to find ways to bring some simple joy and some simple pleasures back into your life. And why? Because you deserve it. You deserve it. You've processed your grief. You've gone through everything. So now it's time to start living again.
I think these factors are really true, and I think that it definitely shows like a progression through these cards here. And so the idea really is you're looking for the fun. You need to find the fun again, or you need to find the joy again. And it's not quite there, but you feel like you're close. It may be connected to the idea that you are still healing and you are still processing some sense of a PTSD, maybe, with that second card there.
Yeah. All right, well, how can you use your modalities, superpowers to best advantage in this month ahead? Okay. It's the Four of Swords. The Four of Swords is upright. And doesn't that make kind of a perfect sense here? Take it slow. Slow down. If you need more time alone, and you don't want to face conflicts or crises right now that may come from other people, slow down, pull back. If you can take more extra time off of work or take a vacation, just kind of to keep to yourself. It might be healthy too. Just don't, allow yourself to become a hermit, okay? And I mean that in the negative sense of a hermit, not the tarot's hermit. Don't get so isolated. Don't isolate yourself from the world because of what you've been through, but give yourself the alone time you need until you feel real ready to face things again.
Modalities or signs in this modality may have different ways of dealing with this sense of healing, and for some it may be more a sulky kind of way of just avoiding people, or maybe just a way of just totally focusing on oneself. So expect, overindulgence maybe on some people's part, but it's also possible too that others may find a way to go into a denial mode and just move beyond it that way, and that could represent a sense of how their power takes them away from this.
So that was your Four of Swords. Do you want to recap now?
I'm good with you starting.
I was going to let you recap since I recapped the last one, but I'll go ahead. The Three of Swords. So the fixed signs are feeling a little bit better than what they did. They went through some difficulty times. They went through a crisis. They went through some sorrow, grief, experience, whether it was a loss through death or divorce or separation, even from a job. You felt the feels, and now you're on your feet again.
Your focus this month is basically trying to pull things together and recover.
And the next card on how you're dealing with others, well, sadly, you still might be dealing with some people or some bad memories. Maybe that you see somebody that, your ex, or on the street or somewhere, you go out to dinner somewhere and there's your ex, things like that, and you have to deal with it. And, are you really feeling strong enough to deal with that yet?
There still seems to be some trauma that, makes you want to avoid the situation. So you're still having some emotional problems normalizing.
Finding the light again is both the opportunity and the challenge here. Finding the joy back in life, you're on your way. You're on your way, and I think you'll find that during this Taurus season, you'll be able to do some fun things again. You'll start feeling a little bit better about life and returning to business, as, to normal state of affairs. Let's put it that way.
In its own way, it's sort of like, you finding the way or the opportunity to be proactive in working on these issues, because you have to figure it out.
And finally, you know what? If you still need more time, if you're just not ready for certain circumstances, scenarios, situations, feel free to pull back, and isolate yourself from these things for a while until you're strong enough to move forward. It's okay to do that for a limited period of time. Just don't stay in that little cave or cocoon of yours forever.
Right. You don't want this to be a permanent vacation.
Right.
All right.
So we have for you, good luck with that. Well, we are on the mutables now, and the mutables are Gemini, Virgo, Sagittarius, and Pisces.
I shuffled first last time, so you did.
Okay. So the positives for the mutables are they go with the flow. They're adaptable, they're flexible, they're versatile, they're highly resourceful. They can change when necessary. And as a matter of fact, because they're quite easy to change. They can assume various personas, chameleons of the zodiac. And they're well liked by others. And they enjoy learning, playing fair, diplomacy. They're sharp. They're also sympathetic, and they can see below the surface of things. They're selfless, and they're quick to help others. Just the kind of people you want around.
Well, then, of course, they got some negatives. Funny how their positives are so big and their negatives are so small.
Well, that's the way it worked out. I should have had more for the fixed signs, I guess.
They try too hard to please everyone. They can be wishy-washy, inconsistent, downright duplicitous. They can stretch themselves to the breaking point. Do I get to shuffle those eventually?
Okay, Geminis, Virgo, Sagittarius, and Pisces, you're up.
So, what is the primary focus of the month for the mutables?
Well, this is so nice. It's the Ten of Cups. The Ten of Cups is upright. Happy
Finding
days.
happiness.
Happy days are here again, mutables. You know, everything seems hunky-dory in your world, in your perfect world, because you are perfect. No. You know, I think here basically good home life, happiness, harmony. Maybe you'll be taking some family trips or going on family gatherings. You know, May is still a little bit chilly or wet at times to be doing picnics, but people might have some outdoor activities together, things that bring people together and happiness. It can also mean something else, but I'm going to see if Mr. O touches on that first.
Well, family can be whatever you decide it is. It doesn't have to be the actual family. And maybe there is no family in some cases. So this probably applies to contentment in a sense too. Feeling satisfied. It could be unconditional, kind of universal, like love or appreciation that you have for humanity. These days, I don't know why, but it could be.
Tens are also cards of completion, and this is a happy completion of something. Did you finish a goal? Did you achieve a milestone of some sort? Are you coming to the end of a cycle and ready to start a new one now? It's a definite positive ending to something. The happy ending, whether it's in relationships or other aspects of your life.
So card 2 is, what role will your interactions with others play in this month ahead?
Well, how ironic. It's the Eight of Wands. The Eight of Wands is reversed.
So maybe we're goofing off. Maybe we're not exactly attentive. It's possible that maybe we're a little unfocused. Maybe, whatever's going on with the mutables is sort of diffusing the atmosphere and maybe making the focus a little softer. We're not totally ambitious. We're not totally, moving towards our goals.
Well, in connection with others, I'm kind of thinking here that we might be talking two different things here, because I was talking about good times with family and whatnot, and I think that still holds. However, I think here some of the things that your interactions with others will entail this month is some miscommunications going on. This could be at the office. This could also be just trying to connect up with the right people you need in order to proceed with something in this month ahead. So, you need to talk to a lawyer, or you need to talk to a financial advisor, or you need to talk to somebody for repair. It seems like you keep, either going in circles, maybe contesting a bill, and you have problems connecting and achieving, that focused point that you wanted. So that could be an annoyance that you're facing in the month ahead that I really don't feel has any bearing on that Ten of Cups.
Very interesting. So, card 3. The opportunities or challenges you may face in the month ahead and the best ways to achieve or tackle them.
It's mutable fire. It's the Prince of Wands.
Prince of Wands would be the Knight of Wands.
Yep. And it's reversed.
So it does sound like there are opportunities to kind of take the bull by the horn. It's very initiative. There's certainly opportunities for you to use your sense of harmony and trust to be charming and charismatic, maybe trying to bring other people along with you, maybe initiating, a course towards something that involves networking or building or friendships.
Well, since I said it was reversed, I'm going to say that
Whoops.
there's a challenge this month, and the challenge is there's a challenge in trying to, this is a tough one for me. I like to go either way with this card. Do you want to correct yours first while I think about it, or?
Huh?
Oh, never mind. What I want to say here is that I feel here that there may be a problem here and a tendency in this month ahead. The challenge is to know when to make your move and when not to know when to be aggressive and when not to. I'm going to go with that route because sometimes I think the Knight holds back a little bit sometimes for a variety of reasons, but also he can be kind of aggressive when he's reversed. So I would say, this could be the opportunity challenges to figure out when to show them, when to hold them,
I kind of like that. That's a good way of looking at it, that this Knight in the reverse mode is really saying it is a challenge to find that even keel, that there may be tendencies to be impulsive, but then there may be better opportunities to rein it in and see how, connectivity, it's networking in a way too, really pulls more people in for maximum benefit.
Yeah, sorry about that. I lost my thought there for a minute.
No, you did pretty good there.
I got it back.
So finally, how will your superpower help any of this?
Well, it's the Four of Pentacles is back again, and it's reversed again.
Give till it hurts.
Well,
give up.
I think this month is about evaluating taking a look at what's valuable to you in your life and what's not anymore. I think here your superpower is about, and I'm going to go a little bit with some of your negative traits here and say, don't try so hard to, you can't have it all. You can't please everybody, number one, and maybe you shouldn't try to. You have to determine who in your life is of value to you now and who might be, kind of not helpful anymul As a matter of fact, maybe they're just downright destructive. And so but not just people, but the things in your life. Is your job as valuable to you as it used to be? Is your material possessions as valuable to you as it used to be? Do they just sit around collecting dust? So I guess that's what I think, your challenge is going to be flexible on this, be willing to say, I can let go of certain things instead of, no, I need to hold on to these things. It's almost mutables. I know you want to not make your things feel bad, and so you want to keep them all, but maybe it's time to let some go.
This is a good tape because I can see with some of the mutables how that is one of their situations, that they may have purge modes, but then on the other hand, they may have no, I need to hold on to it modes, and or it's flexible. So it is something to consider moving through this month ahead, that you may be really challenged to let some things part. And maybe it's not just necessarily physical valuable things, but maybe it's, some conceptions you have. Maybe you have to confront old thinking.
And you know what? If you are so quick to help others, like your superpowers say, then maybe you'd be helping others by, donating some things, letting them go. So we mentioned that in the other reading this came up. Maybe that's going to be part of the equation too. So there's a number of things going on in this reading. Well, maybe just two main points. Let's take a look at this. Okay. Maybe three. Because I do feel this is a time right now when family or gatherings with your tribe tribe, whoever you consider your tribe, could be important, could make you feel good, make you feel joy and happiness. 'Tis the season, you know, it's going to be mid to late spring, and Tauruses love to indulge, you know, and have fun with others. Right?
Well, it's not just about Taurus, but see, the thing is
oh, that's true.
when
I'm
you,
sorry,
when
Taurus
you look at this
season.
from that overall perspective of what's been going on for a while, and then the seasonal attitude of, you know, it's been a long
Yes.
winter and now we're in spring, maybe people are willing to try to be more about, you know, the unconditional love or respect for people within our tribe, as you put it. And so to some degree, maybe people are figuring out that they need to re-strengthen these connections.
Right. And so other things are happening, though, in your interactions with others in the month ahead. That's how I feel. And I feel here that maybe, you know, there are important key people you want to connect with this month, whether it's a work thing, whether it's a project or goal, whether you're trying to get advice or, you know, have them work for you, do some work for you. It just seems like you can't, when you're contesting a bill or some work that was done, you seem to have problems connecting. You seem to have problems getting there. And that's how I feel about that card.
On that one, my turn was a little different. I sort of felt that maybe there was a sense of goofing off or a sense of not really being focused in this month, that maybe we were feeling like we were rubbing off on other people by maybe encouraging people to be a little slack like we're going to be.
Well, I guess the other part of this could also be that maybe some people are micromanaging a little bit. Not micromanaging. That's one of my evil words. It's the other evil word. Trying to multitask. Yeah, that's right. And so multitasking is evil. Don't try it. You scatter yourself. You spread yourself too thin. You burn out.
And that actually looks like the challenge of the next card, that maybe, you know, there's only so much you can do, and you do need to kind of rein it in sometimes, to not be impulsive and think, you know, you can conquer everything, you know, that conquering spirit in a way.
I 100% like that. And I think here too, there's just this thing, you need to know when to move aggressively towards something in this month ahead, and when to hold back. You know, when to just say it's not
the dual
time.
nature thing.
Yeah. And finally, you know, it just seems to me your modality superpower would be best served by being flexible with your material affairs. Maybe that's the key. Be flexible with your material assets. Be flexible with your material things. You know, do some purging if there are things that no longer mean anything to you. Move your investments and things around if you're worried about their safety and security. Don't just hold out somewhere if that somewhere is going down the tubes.
Good advice.
Yeah.
All right.
All right.
So that was the monthly modality message for the season of Taurus.
So I'd just like to say, happy birthday to me. And more importantly, happy birthday to our Taurus friends.
We wish everybody a wonderful Taurus season, especially Tauruses. Enjoy your birthday. We'll catch you soon.
We will see you soon. Bye-bye.